Hey there, TRW crew. Matt here with the Rhinestone World. Can you hear me? Everybody, can you hear me? Can you see me? Yes, yes. Seeing a lot of yeses coming up. Rob, what's up, buddy? All right, awesome. How is everything as far as pretty clear? Everybody can see good, can hear me good, not too much of a lag. We did a test run of this yesterday. This one that we're doing here today is going to be a little bit of a test run as well, because we just want to make sure everything runs smooth, but while we're testing, we figure we might as well teach as well. So we're going to run through what the webinar is going to be over today is, oh, we did have one thing. The picture is very small. Patricia, you should have two different screens. You should have one that says TRW TV and then one that shows the video here of me. There's right in between it, there's a little spot that you can drag it one way or the other. Just go ahead and drag it to where the video screen gets real big right now. Awesome, got it? Perfect. Okay, so everybody, as far as if there is any type of lag, it's going to be different with everybody's internet connection, whether you have like a FiOS or just a regular cable modem, things like that. So we're hoping that yesterday's was pretty good. We did a test run. We had about 40 to 50 people in the test run yesterday. This one, again, I just released the actual registration for this class early this morning, and because we didn't want to get too many people signed up for it, just in case, make sure everything's running smooth. Again, just a little bit larger test run on it. We had 168 of you sign up for it, so we weren't expecting that. That's great though. We appreciate you coming by and supporting us here live on TRW TV. But what we're going to do here is we're going to actually walk you through, and we're going to go to a couple different sections here in the TRW station. So we're going to go over to the computer. We're going to show you how to design real quick design as far as for a high school. So with the rhinestone car decals, we're going to go through the complete process of making a rhinestone car decal with the sticky flock template material, cutting the template material, brushing in a two-color design, then bringing it over with the Hotfix tape and pressing it onto the Bling-N-E-Thing material, okay? Any questions as far as before we get started here on what we're going to do, the Bling-N-E-Thing material, anything? What I want you to do, definitely, please, throughout the process, I'm going to have the questions up here that I can look back constantly, kind of answer questions as they come in. We also have Tyler and Mike on the other side of the wall here. We have Daniel over here running everything video-wise. So they're going to be on there answering your questions as well. So just make sure through the entire process, that's why we're doing a live broadcast like this. We want you, basically, we want to save you money, like always. We want to do trainings for you in the comfort of your own home. You don't have to pay for hotels. You don't have to pay for airfare. Yes, we do our road trips. Yes, we do our 2-day trainings, and we go to the shows and do trainings as well. But we know not everybody can travel around to all these different cities for the training. So we figured, hey, why not bring the training to the TRW crew so we can help you that way. So that's what we're doing here. This is our second one. So hopefully everything runs smooth like yesterday, but TRW TV is now live broadcast like this. I think it's going to be awesome. So you guys we can answer real-time questions as they come in. Anything that you have question-wise, when we get over here, we're going to use the Roland GX24 today. Anything you have question-wise, once we're in there, I can either answer them, or Daniel or Mike or Tyler on the other side over there will be able to answer them for you as well. So please ask as many questions as you want. I promise there's no such thing as a dumb question. If it's a question that you have, then it's an answer that you need. So we'll give you the answer. We're here to help you out, okay? Everybody good? All right, perfect, perfect. So it looks like right now, and unfortunately, all of you that are in here, it's great. Right now, with our account that we have, we can only have 100 attendees at a time. So anytime you do sign up for one of our webinars, make sure to show up a little bit early, because I'm sure we weren't expecting this many people to sign up for this class. So I'm sure we have some that are trying to get in right now, because we are maxed out at the 100 people in the class. So we'll run another one of these webinars here soon with TRW TV to to obviously make all of them happy as well. And then we're also testing our recorded version of it as well, so you can watch it at a later date too, okay? So the first thing we're gonna do here is I wanna let you know what type of materials we're using, okay? So the cutter we're using is the Roland GX24. We have a Hottronics heat press here. This is our blinged out one, but a 16 by 20 Hottronics auto open clam. Then we also have our sticky flock template material. This is the design we're going to do today. Very popular for the Rhinestone car decals and simple to do. To create this design, it's going to take you under a minute to create this design with one of our Rhinestone True Type fonts, and then you can do it for any high school. So if it's RHS or PHS or whatever you want, very easy to do. It's going to take you a couple minutes and you can get to all the schools around your area, make them some Rhinestone car decals, okay? We're going to use our orange Korean low lead SS10 rhinestones and our crystal SS10 Korean low lead rhinestones. We're going to use a mixture just to show you the difference of our monster brush and our regular rhinestone brush. The Bling-N-E-Thing material is what we're going to press the actual transfer to turn it into basically a rhinestone car decal. We're going to use, again, our Sticky Flock Plus. So I'll show you how to line this up with the Sticky Flock Plus and using the actual extended carrier sheet to be able to get the full use out of your material. And then obviously tweezers. I'm hoping not to have to use the tweezers. I don't really like using tweezers. I'll show you how to avoid them. We got a pair of scissors, and then you got some Hotfix tape over here. So just our acrylic Hotfix tape, okay? So first thing we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and run through setting up the cutter. So I took the material out of it, and we're going to use the Roland GX24, and I'm going to show you how to set that up real quick. Now, is there anybody in here that has the Roland GX24 cutter? Yes? Okay. Good. I see some of you actually do have it. That's awesome. Wow, a lot of you have it. That's very awesome. Okay, so what we plan on doing with the TRW TV is we want to use different cutters at different times. So we'll use the Roland GX24 in this one. The next one we might use the Graphtec. The next one we might use the Cameo. The next one the GCC. So to mix them all up, so obviously when we're cutting different things, we can go through that setup process and get you support on basically every cutter that we offer, okay? So I'm going to bring you over to the cutter over here and show you how to set up our Sticky Flock template material. Okay, we just got to get this camera set up, but let me show you here real quick. This is the Sticky Flock Plus, okay? So with the Sticky Flock Plus, what we're going to do is you're going to make sure to get that pinch roller onto this white area here, okay? So this is the extended carrier sheet that we have. And then what we're going to do, you can see we did a couple cuts beforehand, and I'm going to show you how to best utilize your material as well, okay? So I'm just going to put it on our back roller here on the back. And then obviously we're just going to feed it from the back here through the Roland GX24. Now with all cutters that you have, you're going to have your grid rollers down here, okay? So you'll be able to feel the grid rollers where they are and where they are not, where it's nice and smooth. And that doesn't matter whether it's a GX24 or anything else, okay? So we did have one question. If you're starting a small business and cannot afford a top-of-the-line cutter, which one would you prefer to spend more money on, a cutter or a press? Well, we always recommend off the start, if you want to get going in the business, we can pre-cut all of these templates for you, where we can't pre-press them for you. So we always recommend going with the cutter. We do have the Caesar red press that we do have available. 11 by 15, I think is right around $465 for that one. So a great introductory professional cutter for you to get going, and then we can provide you with the pre-cut templates to get your business started. All right, so you can see I'm on my carrier sheet here, and then I'm going to grab this pinch roller right here, line it up. I'm going to make sure I'm lined up with the side right here. So everything's looking good, looking good. Go ahead and lock it down in the back here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. It's going to read my material here, find out where my 2 pinch rollers are. We're looking good there. Now I can just use my arrows over here, and I want to utilize all of my space here. So just move it around a little bit. I'm going to make sure that I'm not going to cut into this one. So I'm good there. Move this back to here. I'm going to hold down the origin button. And now I just set my origin to go ahead and start cutting there. Now I'm pretty close to that edge, so I'm going to move it over a little bit more and set my origin. Now I do want to give you one quick hint here. The blade we're going to use here is the 65-degree blade. I know it's very hard to see, but can any of you see how far the blade's out right there? It's barely out. Like I can put my finger over it right there and it's not going to cut my finger because I have the blade out just a tiny bit. The further you put your blade out, the worse it's going to cut, okay? So you want your blade just barely extending out past the end of your actual holder here. And that's how you're going to get the best cut with the sticky flash template material or your glitter heat transfer vinyls, anything else. Alright, so let's go ahead and load this back in. Now we're using a 65-degree clean cut blade that we have available on the website. I'm going to go ahead and lock that down. Now we already hit origin, so we're good to go. I'm at a speed of 50 and a downforce of 130 grams of downforce. Okay, just to give you an idea of where we're going to be at. Okay, so now that we have everything set up on our cutter here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you over, and like you did before where you dragged the screen to make the video a lot larger, go ahead and drag that same thing, make that TRW logo a lot larger now. I'm going to share a CorelDRAW with you and we're going to run through how to actually set this up and get our design ready to cut in CorelDRAW and our software, the TRW Stone Wizard, okay? Before I move to that, does anybody have any questions on setting up the GX24 or the cutter here with the Sticky Flash template material and the Sticky Flash Plus? Any quick questions on that? I see Tyler and Mike are over there answering most of the questions, which is awesome. How do you change the speed on the GX24? You're just going to go to menu and your condition settings and you can change the speed on there, Kate. The GX24, price-wise, it's going to price comparable. Someone asked what it compares to the Graphtec CE6000, which is the 24-inch cutter. Price comparisons, both of those cutters are right around the exact same price. Okay, perfect. That material, Jennifer, the Sticky Flash Plus does work with the Silhouette Cameo. Her question was, does the Sticky Flash Plus work with the Cameo? The only difference with the Cameo is our width here on the actual material is about 11.6 inches wide, just under 12 inches. So with the Cameo, you're still going to get a little bit of extra material use because you'll be able to put one pinch roller on the actual carrier sheet and the other pinch roller will be right on the edge. So it still saves you and gets you about a ½ inch extra material when you're cutting on the Cameo, okay? Alright, perfect. We're going to head over here to CorelDRAW. I'm going to show you how to make this design real quick and how easy it is with TRW7, one of our Rhinestone True Type fonts. Okay, so we're over here, we got CorelDRAW open. Can everybody still hear me okay? I'm a little bit further away from the mic, but can you still hear me pretty good? Awesome. Okay, we got a pretty good mic. Very good. So did everybody change their screens around, make CorelDRAW a little bit larger so you can see all the buttons that I'm clicking, what I'm working with? Yes, yes? Awesome, awesome. Now how many, real quick poll, how many of you in here actually have already CorelDRAW X5, X6, or X7 and the TRW Stone Wizard? Some do, some don't. Okay, good, good. And that's what we want. We're going to have different webinars, and we have a lot of webinars where we show the TRW Stone Wizard, and we're going to have one early next week with a basic overview of the wizard as well. So those of you that are interested in learning all of the different things the wizard can do, we'll be posting those. Tomorrow is Friday. We'll be posting next week's webinars probably tomorrow on the website, okay? Okay, Penny, you should be able to drag that screen around a little bit and make it so you can see the CorelDRAW. You should have, does everybody have basically 2 images on their screen? Yes? Okay, perfect. So yeah, and everybody understands and sees how you can drag the CorelDRAW screen to make it bigger or make it smaller between the videos. Awesome, awesome. Okay. So we're in here CorelDRAW. We're working in CorelDRAW X6 and the TRW Stone Wizard version 2.08. So I'm just going to show you real quick how to do that SHS design. So I'm just going to type out lowercase SHS. All I did was go to my text tool there. Typed out SHS. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my fonts, and I'm going to use this TRW7 Athletic 2-color font. Okay? So when I change that font, you can see it's an actual TrueType font. So I could go RHS or LHS or PHS, anything you want. So we'll do a different one. Let's do, I don't know, PA. First one to type in there. What's a actual high school? Give me, is it RHS, AHS? First one to get 2 of them is going to be our winner. We got 1, 2, whoa, EHS just took it. All right, EHS. We just had 7 EHSs in a row come. There's a lot of EHSs around. So EHS right here. So all I did, type it out, again with our TRW7 Athletic font there. Now I'm going to go back into the wizard here, and I'm going to go to the Edit tab, and I'm going to arrange my spacing. So see how I have a little bit of extra spacing between the H and the EH and the HS there? If I hit to the left, see how it tightens that up? Now, I don't want to tighten up too much. You can see over there, those stones are overlapping a little bit. So I'm going to go back to the right a little bit, and I would say we're looking pretty right there. So we got our EHS there. Now watch, I need a 2-color design. So what I want to do to make that 2-color design is I'm going to go ahead and right down here in the TRW Stone Wizard, if I click 2-color magic text, I just hit one button right there, and see how that worked? Because what we did is when we created this font, it actually is a 2-color, that's the way that we created the TrueType font. So we created it for the wizard to know when I click that button, then it's going to show, it's going to automatically fill it for me or create that outline, whatever we want. So everybody can see the EHS here. I'm going to highlight the entire design now. So now I have both of them selected. You can see they're both separate right now. So Control Z to go back. Highlight the entire design. If I click on the 10 right there, so that's one of my shortcuts. I just clicked on my 10 and hit yes. Now it's done. It's sized perfect, as you can see up here in the corner, 0.13 inches. It's sized perfect for SS10 stones. All right? So see that? Now what we can do is, I can look at this and say, you know what? I have a Roland GX24. I can probably get away with making this a little bit tighter, which is going to look a little bit nicer. Okay? So if I highlight this design and just drag it down, make it a little bit smaller, and then I'm going to come over here and right click on the SS10. What that did is it made my design a little bit smaller, but then replaced it to be those SS10 stones. So now you can see the design's a little bit tighter there. Okay? All right, so now what do we need to do? We need to go ahead and get this color separated to get ready to send to our cutter. Well, with the TRW Stone Wizard, everybody knows that has the wizard. How easy is it to do your color separations? Pretty easy, isn't it? Highlight your design. Let's go ahead and go to templates. Now I'm using the Roland GX24, so I want to go ahead and do a 2-cut. So what I want to do is I want to do 2 rotations on it. So I'm going to create 2+ magic templates. and we are all done, and it's ready for a 2 rotation cut. So what the 2 rotation cut means is in the TRW Stone Wizard, we designed the software to, even if the software or the RIP software you're using doesn't allow 2 rotations, the wizard is smart enough to say, hey, I know you don't know how to do this, but I'm going to teach you how to do it. And what's going to happen is that blade's going to come down right here. It's going to go a full rotation, another full rotation, and then a quarter rotation. So it's going to go 2+ cuts, and that's obviously what's going to make it weed a lot easier when you're using different cutters. And you can also use this in the Silhouette Cameo or any of those other cutters as well. Seeing a couple questions come in. Is it recorded? Yes, Elaine, we are testing out our recording on this, so we are hoping that the recording goes through, but we'll probably run another one of these as well, Elaine. But I think most people are seeing what's going on. You can maybe, people are popping in and popping out, so if you can't see it, maybe try and sign in and sign out. Hopefully you can get back in. But if you can't see it anyways, then you really aren't seeing what's going on. But we are testing our recording as well, and Daniel's a pretty smart guy, so we should get the recording done here. All right, now what I want to do is I'm going to delete this here. So I have my 2 cuts. They're color separated. They're boxed perfect to do my 2 layers. Now what I can do is I'm going to go, I did have a question real quick. I'm going to go back, and we had Carlos ask if we could do that again. So Carlos, to do your color separations here in the wizard, highlight it all, hit 2+ magic cut templates, and it's done. It's a 1-click feature, and now it's color separated perfectly for you to go ahead and cut the templates. And then we'll show you how the sticky flock templates work as far as actually lining them up here in just a minute. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to line these up like this. And I know if those of you that can see the actual the cutter, the image of the cutter still, you'll be able to see in that video right there that I left space to go off to the right side right there, so I can utilize all of my sticky flock. So what I'm going to do in CorelDRAW here is I know that I want to go ahead and rotate this 90 degrees. So up at the top right here, I'm just going to hit 90 and enter, and it went ahead and rotated it for me. Now I want to go ahead and, one thing that we hear a lot is, oh man, the TRW Stone Wizard is based off CorelDRAW, so you can't necessarily cut directly from it. Well, yes and no, because again, the Stone Wizard is a pretty smart guy over here. So Stone Wizard knows what to do because we taught it to be smarter than we are, basically. So we can highlight this design, go to our Export tab. We're using the GX24, so we're going to click on Cut Studio, and then we're going to hit Send to Cutter, and we are ready to cut. So it brings the design into Cut Studio perfectly for you and ready to cut perfectly in the corner at the angle we want to cut it at. Everybody get that? Okay, perfect, perfect. So now what we're going to do, let's go ahead and highlight this design. We're going to go to Cutting, and we're going to go to Selection. Roll-in GX24 is what we want. We're going to go ahead and click OK. And now go ahead and enlarge that video again. So you can see it cutting here. It's doing the full 2 rotations over here. So, and I'll bring you back to that close-up again to show you the cutter. So let me bring you back to that close-up again to show you the cutter, to show you exactly what it's doing here. So you can see when it drops down, it's not just going around one time and coming up. It's doing a full 2+ rotations like I was explaining there, and that's what's going to make it weed a lot easier. You can see from these other ones, it only missed a couple of the circles on the actual design. Okay? Alright, perfect. So as far as setting up the design there in the TRW Stone Wizard, setting up the design in CorelDRAW, does anybody have any questions as far as how we got to this point so far? Everybody's good? Awesome. Seeing questions come in. Okay, and again, we're gonna try and, we're working on making sure we get a recording of this so you can watch it later. But I wanna keep moving on and move over to this process here. So basically, I'm gonna let the GX24 cut over here so we can go and show you. So this is our end result from the GX24, okay? So these are our two templates. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring you over to our Sticky Flock workstation, brush in these stones for you and show you how to do a two-color design to make the transfer that you can either put directly on a shirt, or you can use the Bling-N-E-Thing material and put it on the Bling-N-E-Thing material, which makes a rhinestone decal, okay? So we're gonna go over to the workstation, but any quick questions? Has everybody here used Sticky Flock before? Does everybody know the process of doing a two-color design? Penny asks, how do you get the cuts that it misses? It doesn't miss any of those cuts, Penny. What it does is when you pull it up, sometimes the flock fibers will catch a little bit and it just doesn't weed off. I'm gonna go back over there once it's done cutting, once we're done with this process, and weed it for you live here to show you how to get those couple extra circles out, okay? The dimensions of this design is right around just over 3.5 inches tall and about 7.6 inches wide. So it's a great size design for a rhinestone car decal on the back of a car. Danette, when sending the cameo, it takes a while to cut. Unfortunately, that's just the cameo. It's an introductory cutter. It's $269. It gets you in the business. It's a great cutter. We sell them. So to get into the business, yes, the cameo, honestly, it's going to come down, it's going to drop, and it's going to go, and sometimes it sounds like a airplane's taking off or something. But it works, it does the job, and it's going to get you, I mean, it may take 30 minutes to cut this template, but the great thing is once you cut the template, you don't have to cut it again. So you'll be able to make 1,000 shirts out of this template or whatever you want, okay? So again, the cameo is a great cutter. We use the cameo a lot here as well and do it in the videos. So it's slow, but it does the job. It's a quality cutter that does the job, and it will definitely get you going. All right, perfect. I see some questions coming in that Tyler and Mike are going to answer, but what I'm going to do is we're going to move over to our workstation here, and I'm going to show you how to start brushing these in. So let me grab my supplies here. All right, so we're over here at our workstation, and just make sure that all of you have the video pulled up large on this as well so you can see it good. So what I did, this is just a regular dry erase board, nothing special. We don't try and say, hey, you have to get this from us. It's made for rhinestones. We did a test a couple months ago, found out that the stones actually brush in even easier on the dry erase board than they do on the Sticky Flock workstation. So again, like always, we shared that idea with all of you and said, hey, you can save some money, go to Target, buy a dry erase board like this, and you can actually spend that extra money that you would have spent on the workstation to buy rhinestones, to buy shirts, to buy Sticky Flock. Something's going to help you get some sales. This dry erase board or that workstation isn't going to get you sales. Yes, it allows you to make the templates, but if you can get a workstation for $5, save that extra $30 or $35, okay? So, here we go. Two-color design. We're going to do crystal stones, like I said, and then our orange SS10 Korean low lead. So we're going to do crystal on the fill. So again, save some money. All this is the carrier sheet for the Hotfix tape is what we store our templates on. So let's go ahead and drop our SHS down there. And we're going to grab some stones here. And I'm using our monster brush here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in large circles around here. And I'm not really paying attention to if the stones are going in yet, okay? Now when I want to get the stones out of there, then you're going to go in a straight line. So I'm going to go in a straight line across, and it looks like, let me see, we have one stone out of all of these stones that went in upside down. I'm not sure if you can see it on the camera here. So again, this is where I say I could use the tweezers and flip that around. If it's one stone, I really don't like using tweezers. So what I would do is just grab some more stones right there, brush it around, and now that's fixed. So all I do is bring another group of stones in, and the way that the stones are formed, when one's upside down, it's going to be moving back and forth. One that's flat is going to come in, replace it, and that's why they all go in the right way. Okay? Make sense to everybody? Someone asked for the Hotfix tape. There's a bumpy side, and then there's kind of an indentation side where it's nice and smooth. We store it on the smooth side, okay? Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get down eye level with this just to see if there's any stones left on the top. So there was one right there, I just got that out of the way. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut our Hotfix tape. So to trim the Hotfix tape here, I'm just going to trim it in half right here. And then, I don't really want to waste a whole lot. But what you do want is you want it to extend, I would say about 3 to 4 inches past your template right here. And I'm going to show you why, and it's going to save you a lot of money. So I'm going to do the first part of my design here. What I like to do is hold it at a U, just kind of a U shaped, and then just drop it down right on top of it. Some people out there, not to mention anybody in the next room that's answering questions, like to go over the stones like this to make sure that they all hit the Hotfix tape. It's going to ruin your brush a lot quicker. Just use your fingers here, you can go over it, and you won't go through as many of the brush pads. Alright, we're going to pull from the corner here, and then when we pull this up, we just want to make sure that all the stones are coming up with it. There's one right there that's missing. Just go ahead and touch it with your finger if you find any spots that didn't come up right away, and it looks like we have every single one that came up. Now this is where you're going to save some money. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this back, but I'm not going to take it all the way off, okay? So I'm going to pull it back to here, and then I'm actually just going to use my stone bag, and you can see it right there just to hold it back. Okay, does everybody see that? Okay, someone asked what causes the rhinestones to go in upside down. Basically, whichever way they fall, they're going to fall into the hole. But when you brush them around in a big circle like that, that's what causes the ones that are on the flat back to replace the ones that go in upside down. So that's what makes it so easy and why I was able to do that so quick. Static. Sometimes you will get some static. We're in Florida. We don't get any static here as far as pulling it up. So you can use, I've heard of people that will use the static sheets that you'll put in a dryer that help a lot, that you can go over with it real quick as well. So this is our second template here. We're ready for our second color. Now remember, the Stone Wizard did this for us in a matter of one click. Well, watch. This is how easy it is to line up. All you have to do is fit this box directly on top of this box. You don't have to pay attention to any of the circles. So fit that box directly on top of that, and it's lined up perfect. Okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to grab our orange stones here. I'm going to dump a good amount of those in there. If we want, we can start out with our monster brush here. And brush these around again, just kind of go in a big circle. Okay, I think I have most of them in there, so I'm going to go in a straight line out. Get these out of the way here. Straight line out. Now I'm going to go back and look, and I'm going to see that I have 2 stones that are upside down. Again, you could use tweezers. I like to just bring a group of stones back in there, brush them around a little bit, it'll replace them, pull these out, and this design's completely done now. Get that stone out of there. I'm going to go down to eye level, just make sure there's no extra stones on top. That's looking pretty sweet. Now watch how easy this is to line up. Because I never took this off, because I never took my original template off, hold on, I do see one stone that we missed up top here. There we go. Now because I basically used an anchor system, that stayed there, never came off the board. My original template never moved. I should be able to drop this down and look at that. It lined up absolutely perfectly, and it's free. You don't have to buy any special type of systems to align everything up. It aligned it perfectly. Now I'm just going to go over and, now remember, we already did the crystal part, so just make sure you kind of go over the edges and just kind of touch the orange stones there. And then what that's going to do is going to make the orange stones stick to the Hotfix tape. And watch what happens when we pull this up. Looking good, looking good, looking good. Man, that looks beautiful. So I'm going to drop this down here. And check out how awesome that design looks. Everybody see how great that lined up? Perfectly lined up for us to get ready to press this. Okay? So let's go back to the main camera here. Awesome. So I'm going to show you again here. See how perfect the alignment is on that? The TRW Stone Wizard did that for you in one click, and all you had to do, we want to take all the thinking out of it for you. The only thing that you had to do was line up those 2 boxes on top of each other and brush in the stones. Okay? So I was away from the questions for a little bit over there in the workstation, but I'm going to try and catch up on some of them. I see they're asking a lot here. What causes the rhinestones to go upside down? I got that one. How do you keep the stones from shifting when applying the transfer tape? That's why I like to kind of hold it at a U and drop it down on it, and then they're not going to move around as soon as you get it there. But even if you do get a couple that shift, the great thing is you can just move it with your finger real quick. But as you can see, none of them shifted at all on this one here. How do you know how many rhinestones to allow for a project? Is there a... Lori, it all depends. Again, in the wizard, you can click on one button, the info button, and it'll show you, give you a breakdown of what's in the design. So it will say exactly how many stones are in this actual design, and then it'll say 250 SS10 orange and 625 SS10 crystal. And then you'll know. But as far as brushing them in, we just dump a large amount in there to work with, and then obviously you just take them out and put them back in your storage after that. What side do you store the finished design on? Susie? Susie's asking what side do we store the actual transfer on? It depends on when we're going to use it, Susie. So we're getting ready to use this right now, so I stored it on the bumpy side because I want it to peel off easier. If I were stocking up transfers, say I'm going to a baseball event this weekend, I make a bunch of baseball mom designs that I just want to have ready to press real quick. Then I would store it on the smooth side because I don't want the stones to shift around at all while I'm moving, while I'm storing them, anything else. So if I'm using it right away on the bumpy side so it's easier to pull off, if I'm not using it right away on the smooth side. It's almost like this carrier sheet was made to store transfers. It's awesome. Does the wizard create the box around the letters? Carlos asked. Yes, we're going to have a webinar on that as well, but yes, it does. In a matter of seconds. You can click one button, it'll put the boxes around every letter for you. Okay, so now what we're going to do, and I know we have 100 people in here. It stays stuck at 100. So every time if someone gets booted out, someone pops on real quick. So I know I'm missing a lot of these questions, and I see Tyler and Mike are answering most of them, which is awesome. And that's why we have 4 of us here trying to help you. So if I do miss one of your questions here, I'm going to have some questions at the end real quick, but Tyler and Mike should be able to answer them throughout as well. So what we have here is our Bling-N-E-Thing material. Now, how many of you have actually used the Bling-N-E-Thing material before? Have a lot of you already used it? Yes, yes, me. Awesome, awesome. No, David, Joan, Penny, what are you guys doing? That's what you're here for, though. That's why I want to teach you how to use it, because it can increase your sales. How many of you drive around, and you're driving around your league, how many of you see a vinyl decal on the back of a car that might have a high school logo, or it might have a baseball player with Johnny number 6? All of you see that, right? In the little corner of the window, you see them everywhere. Well, hopefully you're selling those to them, because with your vinyl cutter, you need to be doing that with the FTC sign vinyl. But how many of you have seen rhinestone car decals on the back of those cars? Not many of you, and that's why it's still early enough in the game to get selling these rhinestone car decals, because it's something completely different. Believe me, when you go to these different schools and you show them what you can do, they think, every single time, they think that it's for the shirts. Oh, you can put that on a shirt? No, you can put this on your car window. And they're like, whoa, what? So, rhinestone car decals, you have to explain it to people because not many people know about them. So once you explain it to them and you say, hey, you can put this on your laptop computer, you can put it on your car, you can put it on anything you want, then they're like, okay, well, let's do some business. All right, so a couple different ways. One thing you don't want to do is obviously press it to the wrong side. So show you how you can tell. Easy way to tell. I'm going to come up here. You can see how shiny this side is. See the light reflecting in it real good? Now this side, not as shiny. See how the light isn't reflecting through this one as much? So the non-shiny side is the no good side. So that's the carrier sheet. The shiny side is the pretty side. So that's the one that we want the rhinestones to go on, okay? So non-shiny, carrier sheet, shiny, press rhinestones on because the rhinestones are shiny. The way I always check it real quick, just in case the lighting, if I scratch, I can't really hear it. If I scratch, see how you can hear it? So you can't hear it on the smooth side, you can hear it on the carrier sheet side. So you always want to press your stones to the smooth side or the shiny side, we call it. Okay, everybody got that? Is this permanent to your vehicle? It's as permanent as you want it to be. So the great thing about it, you can put it right on the paint of your car and you can take it off 2 years later, it's not going to damage your car. Okay? Once you pull it off, make sure to get some goggles or something. It's pretty funny because once you pull it off, the material starts stretching and the rhinestones start shooting off. So be careful when you're pulling it off because the rhinestones will just start firing off. But I have 2 decals that I put on my wife's car. Huge. They have 30,000 stones. It's literally like a 4 foot wide of the logo on both sides of her van, and we've had that on there for at least 2 years. I did a YouTube video on it that you can watch, but at least 2 years we've never had one stone fall off it. Okay? So check that video out and it'll show you how we did that. So what we're going to do now, first thing we want to do, how many of you out there that are doing rhinestones right now, do you know what type of Hotfix tape you use? Do you know if you use acrylic Hotfix tape or silicone? Not sure? Not okay. That's a good thing to know, whether acrylic and silicone. Silicone is a little bit more expensive. The only Hotfix tape we sell is the acrylic Hotfix tape. It's the easiest to work with, we feel. It's a little bit thinner, not quite as strong as an adhesive, but that's what we want. Because those of you that have ever worked with the Bling-N-E-Thing material or rhinestone material and you're using silicone, it adheres so strong to the actual Bling-N-E-Thing material that when you pull it off, the Bling-N-E-Thing material starts pulling up as well. So the acrylic that we have that you can purchase, we found is the perfect solution from all of them that we tested and all the different adhesives and the different tacks to find out what was going to be best for the Bling-N-E-Thing material. So the acrylic is what we use for this. So what I'm going to do, grab a pair of scissors and I'm going to show you, I'm going to cut around this real quick. So one thing you don't want to do is have your Bling-N-E-Thing smaller than your actual Hotfix tape. Because if the Bling-N-E-Thing back there is a little bit smaller, what's going to happen is when you peel it off, the Bling-N-E-Thing material back behind there, it'll start pulling the Bling-N-E-Thing material off too when it's on that edge. So has anybody run into that problem before? Yes, Jason's run into that problem, Fred's run into that problem, Tim's run into that problem. Okay, so I'm going to show you the solution to that problem, all right? So for example, and I'm going to show you real quick, if the Bling-N-E-Thing material were inside like that, so you can see it's a little bit lower, and you peeled it off, the edge of this is going to start peeling up, okay? Solution for that is very easy. All I'm going to do is trim pretty close to the edge of my actual decal here. So trimming pretty close to the edge of it, and I'm good to go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to trim my Bling-N-E-Thing material just outside of the Hotfix tape. So let me show you up close here what we got. See how the Bling-N-E-Thing material is on all spots just outside of the Hotfix tape? That's what's going to solve that problem, okay? Because once I peel it up from this corner, it isn't on the edge of the Bling-N-E-Thing material, which isn't going to try and peel up that corner of the Bling-N-E-Thing material. Does that make sense to everybody? Yes? Awesome. Okay, Penny, that should definitely help you. Kate, cool. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're going to head over here to our Hottronics heat press, and we're going to go ahead and press this baby, show you how awesome it looks. Alright, so we're over here at the press. Now I am set at 322 degrees right now. 320, 325 is about where you want to be. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this transfer off. So we're good there. Now those of you that don't know, Rhinestone car decals aren't very different from your normal. Everybody always gets scared of, hey, I don't know how to make a Rhinestone car decal. So just to show you here, this transfer here is ready to go. So this this process to get to where we are right here is no different than any shirt or bag or anything that you've ever made. Exact same process. The only difference to turn this into a car decal is instead of coming over here to your heat press and pressing it onto a shirt, you're going to press it to the Bling-N-E-Thing material. That's the only difference. So those of you out there, I'm scared to get into the Rhinestone car decals, not really sure how to do them. No difference. There is a couple techniques right here that I'm going to show you with pressing that's going to make it easier too, okay? So let's head back over to the press. Okay, I'm going to find my side. I got my shiny side, my non-shiny side, so I want the stones to go on the shiny side. Drop this down. We're good to go there. Now, I have it applied. I'm ready to press. Most of us, and I used to off the start too, would press it right now. Well, after making thousands and thousands of these decals, I found out that if you press it upside down, you get a good direct heat directly to that glue to adhere to that Bling-N-E-Thing material, and you get the Bling-N-E-Thing material to melt around the stones a little bit, and it works perfect. So always use your protective cover sheet just to protect your heat press. Let's go ahead and fold it over. We only have to use one cover sheet here. And we're going to press down here, and we're going to do this press for right around 10 seconds. So I had it set, I think, on 13. So at 3 seconds, we'll go ahead and pull this up here. Be careful when you pull this back, just in case it attaches and tries to pull the decal up. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go ahead and flip over this decal. And remember, we went to the inside there, so watch. If I pull this off here, how many of you that make them, it comes off that, I mean, it peels off like nothing right there. Simple, and the coolest thing about it is I could put this back onto there, save that Hotfix tape for another design. Again, you guys know, I always try to give you money-saving tips. You have a small design that you want to put on a sleeve or a number on a sleeve, you can use this Hotfix tape again, probably 3 to 4 times. So definitely save these. So now you can see we have ourselves a rhinestone car decal. You can see the awesome bling, and I'm going to show you how to get this trimmed up now. Okay, so we did have a question a little while ago as far as, can you show us how to contour cut the Bling-N-E-Thing material in the Roland GX24 or in a vinyl cutter? So after making so many of these rhinestone car decals and testing it and time and, okay, the time to bring the Bling-N-E-Thing material over to here, and the time to cut it, and the time to weed it, and the time to get it lined up and set up and everything, it is literally, from all the testing that we did, we can do it 3 times as fast by just trimming around the edge of it. So just think of, okay, we're to this stage right here. Just think of going over, setting up your cutter, getting it to your plotter, creating the contour cut of it, bringing it over to your plotter, cutting it, weeding it, lining it up, all the steps that are involved in that. And here's the steps that are involved in this. You grab a pair of scissors. I'm gonna go right along the edge right here. The cool thing about this material is you can see it's a little bit cloudy, but that cloudy part is just the carrier sheet. The actual material is clear as day. So it's so clear that these little edges that we're going to have are actually just gonna blend. So there's our cut. We're looking perfect. This is ready to go onto a car. And I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna peel this off here and show you how clear it is. And just to show you that the carrier sheet is the part that's cloudy. So see that right there? This is the carrier sheet right here, and this is the decal, but you can see how clear that is. So when that goes on to that car window, it's gonna blend right in with that car window, and the only thing you're gonna see is those stones. So it's gonna save you a lot of time, I promise. We've done the testing. Yes, you can cut this material on your cutter and do a contour cut around it. It's gonna save you a ton of time just trimming around it, because you're not gonna see that anyways. Does that make sense to everybody? Awesome, 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 awesome. Okay, Mary Alice, good question, Mary Alice, and I didn't do it, you caught me. What I normally do, and I always do this especially for people that are new, that are scared, that don't know possibly what is a good pressure. We call it the insurance press. So what I always look for is for the stones, and you can't see it very good here, but there's a little bit of a lip from the Bling-N-E-Thing material that comes up over the stones. So I'm going to go over here to the heat press, and on the press here, we're going to, what I normally do is we press it 10 seconds upside down, then we flip it over right side up, and do a 5-second insurance press. So just in case you didn't press it long enough, it's just a quick 5-second insurance press, just to make sure those stones are down in there. You activated the glue good on the rhinestones, and you're getting a good adhesion so no stones are falling off for your customer. So Mary, you sold me out there, but thank you very much, because that was good. I'm glad that you reminded me to tell everybody that. So you leave the Bling-N-E-Thing material on the decal after applying. Yes, Deb, the Bling-N-E-Thing material, the stones are adhered to the actual to the Bling-N-E-Thing material. So let me see. And I wasn't planning on doing this, but let me see. Yeah, we can. I'll throw this one away. I'm going to bring you over to the workstation. I'm going to actually apply this, just so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's head over to the workstation here. And I might have, let me see if I have another workstation around here. Okay, so let me pull these off. And back onto our carrier sheet there. Now watch. This is how we apply the decal. So there's a couple different ways you can do it. If you're doing it onto the car, what I recommend is just wet the window a little bit, make sure it's clean, and then if you have a little bit of a mist of water back behind it, then you can move it around. But basically, I'm going to go ahead and apply this for you. Here, I have another board right here, so I can actually lift it up and show you. So we're going to apply this decal. All you're going to do is drop it down right there and then just press in the different edges. And now this is not going anywhere. That is there to stay, and you have yourself a rhinestone car decal that you can see here. But see how I was saying that the material is so clear, it just blends right in with it? So let's go back over to the main camera here. But see that? Can you guys even really see the actual edges of the material at all right here? And that's what I'm saying. It's gonna look awesome. And you gotta think, when people are walking behind a car, you're not gonna come up to a car and be like this. Oh, I see a little edge there. You're gonna be 4 or 5 feet away from the car because you don't wanna get run over. So it's gonna look great, and it's gonna save you a lot of time. What would, someone asked what we would charge. For this decal, depending on your market and where you are, we would charge anywhere from $12 to $15 for that rhinestone car decal. So depending on your customer base, it's always going to vary a little bit, but $12 to $15 for that one there. Okay, let me bring you over to the cutter real quick, and I want to show you our actual cut. So this finished a while ago, but let's go ahead and bring that out, pull this up, and we got the SHS. Now you can see there, depending, now I pulled that from the right side, okay? So if you pull it from the right side, you just gotta find the clean spot for your actual cutter. So watch this. If I pull it this way, so let me grab that edge. Okay, does everybody see the difference there? Let me show you up close over here. Let me go back to the main camera. So this right here is my EHS, and so you can see all of them. I don't think we missed one circle on that one. This one right here, I pulled from a different angle, and see what we got there, how they didn't all weed out. Depending on where your blade ends, when you watch your blade, see where it ends. So if we always pull from this cutter, from that top left corner like I did, it's gonna weed like that every time. If we pull from the bottom, it's not gonna weed as good because it's not pulling from the angle that where the blade finished. So that's why you would get something like this. Back over to the cutter real quick. To get rid of something like that, you can apply it to the back here, or any type of different material. As far as what we'll use a lot is like a granite countertop, things like that. But you can see it's not, if it did something like that, it's not like it's ruined. It's not something that you're not going to be able to use. You just, because it cut all the spots, you just have to go in and kind of manually pull it out right there, and it will take, I don't know, a minute to do that. Does that make sense to everybody? So that's a huge difference. If those of you that are out there and saying, man, mine isn't weeding that great, and I'm getting results like that compared to results like this, you can see it was the exact same cut, but it was just a matter of what angle or what corner we actually pulled the template from. Okay? All right, perfect. So what I wanted to do also is I just wanted to show you another thing that a lot of people, oh man, I'm looking good on time, 4 minutes left, but I'll stay a little bit longer and answer some questions as well. But what we also offer, we want you guys to get going on these rhinestone card decals. We want you to, because we know it's unique, we know your customers are going to love them, your schools are going to love them. So you're thinking to yourself, great, awesome, I sell 5 of them, I sell 10 here, I sell 10 here. What happens if you get an order for 100 rhinestone card decals, or 150, or 200? Our largest one so far is just over 12. We had 1,225 for one order. Awesome order for us, but we're thinking to ourselves, and this was back before we had a machine. We brushed all of those in. And believe me, it was everybody. My mom, my sister, my brother-in-law, my daughter, my son, everybody was brushing in stones all night long for a couple nights. But what we also offer at the Rhinestone world is we have 3 of the CAMS machines. So when we have big orders come in like that, say for example, we had a big order come in for some of these bear claws. So you can see we have a ton of these bear claws here. Or we have a ton of these different Mac designs here that are all completely done. Well, one thing, we haven't really promoted it much because we knew it was gonna help. Obviously it's gonna help you guys, but we didn't want to get overloaded with it, so we're starting to promote it more now just to give you guys the option. The last thing we want you to do and your business to do is turn down a big order. So we don't want you to ever have to say 150. I can't do that. I have 20 other orders. I would spend 3 days making 150, brushing them in, getting the Bling-N-E-Thing material, everything else. So we thought, hey, let's provide an opportunity for all of our TRW customers to be able to get all of those orders. So what we do with that is you can submit a design or a custom design, anything that you want. What happens is if you order 100 of them or 50 of them or whatever it is, you get a discount off of what we would sell those for. So for example, these bear claws here, or these cheer with the star designs here, I'll show you. Just has the name and elite or cheer at the bottom. These designs right here, we would sell those for $15, okay? They purchased 100 of them, they got 50% off. So they bought them from us for $7.50 each. They didn't have to pay for one rhinestone, no Bling-N-E-Thing material, no sticky flock material. They didn't have to spend hours upon hours brushing in 100 of them. They could work on all their other orders. We can stone them out on our machines for you, and then they can resell them to that team or league or whatever it is for, let's say they resell them for $12. Well, you do the math right there, $7.50, that's $8.50, $9.50, $10.50, $4.50. So you just made $4.50 on all $450 on 100 of them. You made $450. You didn't have to do anything. We send them to you completely done, ready to hand to your customer, and then your customer sells them for $15. They make $300, and obviously everybody makes money. You can keep working on those other orders as well. So it is something that we offer. Last thing we want you to do is turn down a large order, and that's why we started offering those different services as well. So if you do have any questions on that part, make sure to give us a call and we can give you the complete breakdown of all that, or just shoot us an email at info@rhinestoneworld.com, okay? Minimum order on the decal discount is 25, Darusha. So just a minimum of 25, and that's where you'll start getting the discounts, okay? And very cool ones, just to let you know, it doesn't have to be for a big order. If you just want to stock some, these are our 13-point half mile and our 5K ones. Awesome rhinestone car decals there that, again, you can buy 25 of them and it's going to get you the discount. Or the little crown designs like this here. You can see it's just a crown that can go on a laptop, it can go on a car window, anything they want. And then different ones like volleyball mom design there. Pretty cool looking design. To palm trees, horseshoes. So basically anything you can think of, we can obviously create, okay? All right, perfect. Well, what I want to do now is, I know we're a couple minutes over time, but we did the test webinar yesterday, okay? So, of course, we had someone, hey, I've never tried the Bling-N-E-Thing material. Can I try it? I want to try some. How about a sale? So they twisted my arm and talked me into doing a coupon code. So what we're going to do for all of you that showed up here today, and we appreciate all of you coming to the TRW TV broadcast here, what we're going to do is we're going to give you a 20% coupon on the Bling-N-E-Thing material, is what we used here. So the Bling-N-E-Thing material for the next 2 hours, it's 4 o'clock right now. So for the next 2 hours, you're going to get 20% off the Bling-N-E-Thing material. You do need to enter a coupon code though. So Tyler and Mike are on the other side of the wall right here. They can hear me right now. Tyler and Mike, I need you to create a coupon code for 20% off the Bling-N-E-Thing material. And let's do TRW TV 20. So similar to the one we used yesterday, TRW TV 20. Go on the website in the next 2 hours. You're going to get 20% off our Bling-N-E-Thing material for you to be able to make rhinestone car decals. The other thing we're going to do is the TRW 7, which is the Rhinestone True Type font that I used to create this SHS design. Where did our SHS design go? Oh, it's on our board. So this font right here that you can create any different school name out of, we're going to go ahead and mark that down to 50% off the retail price. I'm not sure the exact price on that. We didn't do this yesterday, but 50% off on that for the next 2 hours as well. And what we'll do is just do a search, or you can look on the website under the True Type fonts. It's TRW 7, as in the number 7, okay? But what I also want to do is, obviously, I want to thank all of you for taking time out of your day. What do you guys think of TRW TV? Pretty cool to be able to go through all this stuff, see it real time, be able to ask questions. I can look back here, see any questions that you have. Is this something that you guys think will help you? And again, like all of you know, I get in trouble sometimes because I share too much. Hey, you share too much with your customers. Why would you tell them that? You can make money on that. Honestly, I was a high school teacher for 10 years and a baseball coach. My mom's a retired teacher, dad's a retired teacher, sister is still a teacher. So this is what I like to do. I like to help people, I like to teach people, and it's obviously, like I always say, the more shirts, the more decals that I can help you sell that can build your business. I want every one of you out there to be a huge business. That's our goal, because again, the larger you guys are, the more shirts you're selling, the more car decals you're selling, hopefully the more you're purchasing from us, which grows us as well. So I always say, we want to build your business to build our business, and it does, and that's obviously the way it works. I've never taken a business class in my entire life, and I don't feel like I need to. I can figure things out. I'm going to provide customer support. I'm going to be honest with people and try and help them out. And I think if you do that in business, that you're going to be successful no matter what you do. It's all going to come back in the end. And if you're in it to actually help people, obviously we're all in business to make money, but if you can help people make money as well, then obviously it comes back in return. All right, so Bling-N-E-Thing material is waterproof. Tracy, you are correct. Rain, car washes, anything you want, it's not going to come out. Can I call and get everything I need to get set up? I'm totally new and have nothing. Martin, yes, give us a call. Number's 941-755-1696. Our call center is right on the other side of this wall. Give them a call, and anybody can help you as far as getting set up with exactly what you need. You tell them, hey, I want to get started. I want to do heat transfer vinyl. I want to do rhinestones. I want to do decals. Whatever you want to do, they'll let you know the best package to get going. And again, they aren't going to pressure you into buying a $6,000 package. If your business is going to get started with a silhouette cameo and some sticky flock and some stones, that's what we want to do, because if you spend all your money up front, you can't buy shirts. You can't buy the supplies that you need to actually make things. You can't make things, you can't make money, okay? How big much do the SS10 bags come in? Angel, we range anywhere from a 10 gross bag all the way up to a full 500 gross bag. So 10 gross bag is right around 1,400, a little over 1,400 stones. A 500 gross bag is 72,000 stones. So you'll see on the website, completely broken down by a 10 gross, 25 gross, 50 gross, 100 gross, and 500 gross. Love it, glad to come back, see something I saw, wish there was my class account. Yeah, we did have some questions right here I see on our live trainings. We are going to start some 2-day live trainings here at the Bling headquarters, where you can come down to sunny Florida, Sarasota, Florida, Siesta Key Beach, #1 rated beach in the world. So come hang out with us, but we're going to start some 2-day trainings here. We also go to all of the ISS, the NBM, the NGN, Embroidery Mart. Next week we fly out on Wednesday for Denver, Colorado. We're doing a full 1-day seminar, 6-hour seminar the day before the NGN show. So definitely come check us out in Denver, Colorado next week. You can sign up for that class and register for that class on our website. It's a live 6-hour class. Our first week of August, we're in Las Vegas. So Vegas time, that is the ISS show, first week of August. Right from Vegas, we fly directly to St. Louis, Missouri. St. Louis, we are going to have a 1-day training there as well, so check the website for that. You can still sign up for that one. And then after that one, the week after, we're 3 weeks in a row traveling the world. We're going to Nashville, Tennessee for Embroidery Mart. So anybody in here going to any of those shows? Yes, I see Dallas. We do have Dallas, Fort Worth. Mike, Tyler, when is Dallas, Fort Worth? They're going to look on the website real quick. I'll get you those dates as well. Oh, Fort Worth is in September. We are in Orlando. Orlando is an hour and a half from us. If you guys come to Orlando, hour and a half, come down and check out the Bling headquarters. So you can come walk through. We can walk you through the entire location here, show you everything that we do. We'd love it when you guys come hang out with us. All right, I see a lot of questions piling in, so I'm trying to answer as many as I can. But again, we finish here. If you do have any questions, just give us a call, shoot us an email. We're here to help you. We're going to keep going with the TRW TV here. We think it's awesome. It's great to be able to get on here and interact with all of you guys, the TRW crew. And I like getting to know you. I can see names here. You're not order number 6,700. You're Kate and Jackie and Terry and Patricia and Carlos and Kay. We like to get to know all of you. We like to know our customers. Yes, of course, we have a lot of customers now. It's hard to know every name, but we're going to do our best to get on a personal name basis with every one of you that we can, because we want to obviously sell you your supplies, but we want to help you at all. We want you to be part of the family. We want everybody to be part of the TRW crew. All right, I think I still see the questions piling in here. We are only 10 minutes over time. That's actually pretty good. To do everything that we did here, from setting up the entire design, setting up the cutter, getting the design cut, bringing it over here, brushing in the two-color design, bringing it over here to our heat press. I think we did pretty awesome as far as time frame wise. And we did finish before 4. Just to let you know, it's 3:59. I just want to hang out some extra time to answer some questions for you guys. But does anybody have any last questions as far as any of the materials? Again, I'll run through it real quick. What Daniel's going to do is, well, we already created, I think Tyler and Mike already created it. TRW TV 20% off the Bling-N-E-Thing material. And then if you search TRW7 on the website, they are going to take 50% off that retail price, which I'm sure they've probably already done. Tyler, Mike, we good with that? Yeah. Yep, they said we're good with that, which means they're getting ready to do it right now. And I hear them laughing, so I know I'm right. Alright, well again, thank you all very, very much for coming today. I love these live classes. They're awesome. They're even better when they work like they do. And I mean, we had shooting around at different cameras, and I think everything flowed pretty nice. Was everybody pretty happy with the way it went, going to the different cameras? The actual, if there was lag or learning. And like I ask in every single webinar that we have, did everybody in here learn at least one thing today? One thing that's going to help you with your business? Yes, yes, yes. Awesome, yes, yippee, tons, awesome, great. Okay, perfect. And like I say in everyone, that's my goal, is eventually I would love for someone to say, man, you've already taught me so much, I already knew all that. And then if we're to that stage, you guys are making some cash, and your business is going great and growing exactly what we want to do. So my goal is every single webinar to think of different things. We think of things all the time. We might have this exact same webinar a month from now, and it might be a completely different process. If we find something that's better, or even you guys, we take feedback as well. If you say, hey, you did this way. What if you tried it this way? It might work a little bit better. I'll try everything. Believe me, if I created videos for everything that didn't work, right now we have 780 videos on our YouTube channel. If I created a video for everything that didn't work, we would have 1 million videos. Because you don't see everything that gets destroyed here. You just see the things that work. Okay, we think it is being recorded, so I think we should be good, and we'll post it on our Facebook page. It's going to take a little while to get it all rendered and everything, so I would say by at the latest, Daniel, Monday, probably, we're hoping by tomorrow, just to be safe at the latest on Monday, okay? Margaret, the 50% off, they're just gonna mark that TRW 7 50% off the retail price, okay? So you don't need a coupon code for that one. All right, Gaylord, everything is looking in sync. Yeah, we run into a couple problems, like basically the same people are saying like there was maybe a minute here where it was lagging a little bit, but then it ran smooth the rest of it. So I'm sure it's just something with different connections at different times, but as long as it's running, I'm normally moving all around like this, so I'm sure it looks like I'm lagging some too, but as long as you guys can understand what's going on and you're getting something from it, then I call it a success. All right, perfect. Well, I appreciate everybody for coming in and coming to the webinar today. Again, we're looking into upping our actual subscription to 500 people because I think I posted this one 2 or 3 hours before the webinar and gave you no warning about it because I was expecting 30 or 40 people to show up, and we were maxed out with the full 100 the entire time and had almost 200 actually register for it. So we will probably be jumping up to the 500 person subscription here soon so we can get everybody in here at the same time. But I just want to thank all of you for coming. I know you guys take time out of your day to come to these webinars and support us, and hopefully you realize that we're doing these to support you guys as well. I know you don't see Daniel over here doing all of his work, making everything great. Tyler and Mike on the other side over here answering all these questions for you so it runs as smooth as possible, because believe me, I'm the one in the camera, but I can't do this all by myself. It's the rest of the TRW crew and all of you guys as well, the TRW crew, that make it happen. So I appreciate everything that you guys do. If you do have any questions, make sure to give us a call. Check the website. Tomorrow afternoon we'll be posting the webinars for next week. We want to start, now that we see that they're running nice and smooth, we want to start giving you a good week in advance, 4 or 5 days in advance, to be able to plan it out to attend the different webinars. So if you do have any questions, make sure to give us a call. This is Matt, Tyler, Mike, and Daniel with the rhinestoneworld.com, and you guys have a great day.